Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about writing a scientific paper. So I have a paper that I'm currently working on. So I just decided to shoot this, write a scientific paper with video. This was inspired by my friend Abisola. She does a lot of studying with videos, and yeah, I've been watching her videos to study with her, and so I wanted something like that that's relevant to me as a PhD student that really is writing papers. So before I actually jump into start writing my paper, I just want to give you guys a quick algorithm on how you can approach writing a scientific paper. So the first step is to actually just start. Us as young researchers, we tend to procrastinate a lot when it comes to writing our papers. Um, whether be it fear of not having enough to write or not being able to write a good enough paper, whatever it is, or just being demotivated that maybe you don't have good enough results to actually write the paper. These are some reasons why we push off papers. But if you've actually done analysis, experiments, even if you think the results are not groundbreaking, it's important to actually document it so that the next person knows where what has been done in that line of research and can continue from there, or you can continue from there. So the first thing is actually to just start. This is an advice to myself too, because I've been a victim of procrastinating my papers a lot of times. This particular paper I'm writing, I've been pushing it off because I felt like my results were not very interesting, but thank God for the type of supervisor I have. He knows when something's on my mind, and he has actually talked me out of not of thinking that it was not interesting. So when you actually start, okay, so if you start your paper, you actually have to follow an outline, because you cannot just, especially as a STEM student, right? Or even a read student, you have to follow an outline. So as STEM engineering students, our research, we usually have to do literature review. Everybody has to do literature review first, right? You have to actually um, study the literature to see if there's gap in that space of research you want to carry out, and if there's a gap, then you fill that gap, right? So you don't initially done a lot of literature review to see what's out there, then propose what you want to do. And when you propose what you want to do, you go, if it's experimental, you carry out a lot of experiments in the lab. In this my case, this experimental actually an experimental does an experimental part of the paper. So when you carry out those experiments, you have results, and then you now have to analyze the result. So that's usually the first step, right? You take the experiment, and when you get the result, draw out your graphs, your figures, do that. And so when you sit down to write the paper, you already have those figures to just dump into your Word document. So you write out the outline. For me, I just write abstract, introduction, experimental, materials and method, that's the experimental section, result and discussion, conclusion. Like I just write down the sub-elements, right? And so me sitting down to write the paper, I've already done the experiment, and so I go straight to the experiment to write out my experimental method, which I've already done for this paper. And so like I said, when you've done your experimental section, you would have gotten results that you need to plot in graphs and figures. And having those graphs and figures, then you can just put it in your results section and actually start discussing your result. So that's what I did. I've written the experimental part. I've put in some graphs that I have already in my results section, and I started discussing. And you realize that when you actually plot your graphs and all, you start seeing a story. So even if you were demotivated before, you might see something like, oh, that's a good thing to discuss. So that's why it's good to start with things you already have. Like my introduction is just the heading there. That'll be the last thing I do. Like I said, literature review has already been done, so it's not like I do not know anything to write in that introduction, but I want to finish like all the other parts and see how the story comes together before I actually go write my introduction and my abstract. So with me putting on my figures in my results and discussion, I can see extra analysis I have to do, not necessarily extra experiment, but extra analysis. And so right now I'm actually just trying to arrange my paper and see what extra analysis I need to do, and if I actually need to do more analysis, actually go into my data analytics software to carry out those analysis. So yeah, that's basically my quick algorithm in writing a scientific paper. And so if you are writing a scientific paper right now and you've been procrastinating, then this video is your motivation to start. You can just start with me because I'm going to be going through my paper right now to see what I can add and what I can remove. With scientific paper, it's a back and forth, so you don't just finish it in one day, no. But yeah, taking out time each day to attend to your paper is very important. So without me talking too much, let's just start writing the paper. Enjoy. together my figure. I wanted to add more, so that's what I did today. And yeah, that's fine. If you don't start, you don't see